say be careful what you wish for, because the next great kosher chef may have to endure those 14, 15, 16-hour days.
Teaching should be something that is active. It's not a passive thing. It's something that needs to be often physical so that we really retain what we're learning.
Every day I disarmed these explosive devices, improvised explosive devices, and I knew every time I disarmed one that somebody would live.
Welcome to Study with the Best. I'm Chase Rosen. Today, the exciting finale of our very own reality show. We've been following Chef Avram Wiseman as he hosts a cooking competition like you've never seen before. Who's gonna take home the grand prize? On your mark, get set, cook.
Your surprise ingredients are about to be revealed. Zucchini, yellow squash, acorn squash, quartered chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
A little bit under the skin.
Time is ticking down very quickly.
We have a basic roast chicken, a little bit of fresh garlic, paprika, onion, garlic and pepper, and salt, sauteed zucchinis, mushrooms and peppers with a little fresh ginger, onions, and soy sauce. And in the middle, we have a puree of Yukon Gold potatoes and acorn squash with a little honey and cinnamon.
The chicken is in olive oil, merlot, thyme with some apricots and balsamic vinegar. The rice is my grandma's specialty. It is sauteed onions and turmeric with cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and there's cranberries, nuts. I use some shallots in the zucchini, and it is squash fried with turmeric. Thank you.
What you have is basically a brown pan. There's some turmeric, there's a little bit of cayenne, there's a little bit of cumin, there's some cinnamon, and it comes with acorn squash, some raisins, walnuts, and a zucchini squash, a little anise, some honey.
Maybe the vegetables a little bit smaller. I don't like filling up plates. The chicken was a little salty, and the accompaniments were not seasoned enough.
I would probably have done the squash maybe on the side. I saw you were putting like a dollop on it, you were putting a nice scoop on it. Maybe like a nice scoop on the side would have been a little cleaner.
I kind of saw like you were changing midway. You were like, this is maybe we're Asian, maybe we're not Asian. Then once you threw in the squash with the honey, it didn't feel like it all came together.
I thought that the chicken might be a little undercooked. It seems a little bloody.
Everything could have used just a little more salt for me.
We were starting to do something really interesting when you were doing the turmeric and you were doing the paprika, and I think you basically covered it, and it didn't like hit me as strongly as I would like.
One thing I did like was that the spices were on the chicken, so I really did get a chance to taste the chicken taste like with the spices, so that was very flavorful. Might have been also a little undercooked. You use your assistants more.
It was a good dish in terms of the flavors. Everything was seasoned well. Maybe a little undercooked on the chicken.
It really came together. I thought the skin of the chicken was so tasty and great. My only concern was really with this chicken being slightly under.
I think they did pretty well on a lot of stuff, so maybe all together it went well. It all would go well.
I think we all did well in various things. And the first two, we don't know who did what.
I think it can be anybody's game, and we'll see. And I'm happy for whoever wins, if it's me or somebody else. So yeah, it's just been a really fun day.
There was a lot on your plates today. I greatly admire you all. Kol hakavod. Hats off to you three. I say be careful what you wish for, because the next great kosher chef may have to endure those 14, 15, 16-hour days. The next great kosher chef will probably get burned. I still do. The next great kosher chef is going to get a couple cuts down and then we know that. The toughest challenge we've ever had, because you were all so good and the judging was so close. So you're really all winners, but I can't do that. We had to come to a decision, and we did. Here it goes, all at once. Mazel tov, Jasmine, you won $5 grand. Batsheva, God.
I thought I did better than that, but I guess they liked a little bit more exotic.
I got the impression I did well in the final round. The early rounds, I don't think I did it. I clearly didn't do as well.
I don't think it hit me yet. It's really, 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 really amazing. I'm more happy for my parents than I am for myself. I had no idea. I scored mediocre in the last compared to the other three. That was just a lot of fun.
Don't give up. We'll do it again, and next year just might be your chance. Don't ever give up on being the next great kosher chef.
This train is going local. Stand clear. Stand clear to closing doors. This train.
When we first started animating, our goal was really simple. We wanted to be commercially successful. We wanted to sell out big time. We wanted to ultimately be commercial directors. That in our minds, that was the big thing. Well, my name is Andy London. My wife and I have a production company called London Squared Productions. We've been making animated shorts and commercials and music videos and stuff like that for about 10, 11 years now.
train. Stand clear to closing doors.
Oh, look! Where? It's Stanley Pomerantz, the jerk who put Sarah on Accutane and gave her a seizure. Oh, gotcha.
Our first major film was something called Subway Salvation.
This train is going local. Stand clear to closing doors.
Hey, watch it, you rat with wings.
Hey, Papi, was you conversating with me?
What? Conversating what? Yeah, I heard it too. I resent that remark.
Oh, great. A sensitive rat.
What are you, a wise guy? What? What? Were my lips moving? I'm like a clam over here.
It was 18 months of basically locking myself up in this tiny room whenever I was back from teaching or whatever I was doing, just working on the characters and sets and props and animating. And literally to do one scene would take one day. A scene that was like 3 seconds long or 5 seconds long. And my wife would come home from work and she'd go, do it again, it sucks.
Mom, Dad, you can't make me put out one of those freaking things.
You little brat. You should thank your lucky stars. I would rip my heart from my chest for the opportunity to wear a customized plastic girdle.
I did the back brace in 4 months. My wife and I, she directed it. I had scoliosis as a kid. It's a story about how I had to wear a back brace. It was a pretty horrific 2 years of my life.
All the way home, I contemplated throwing open the back door and hurling myself into speeding traffic.
Hey, look on the bright side, Andy. Somebody mugs you, the knife gets stuck in the back brace, causing you no harm.
David, look at you, making a joke. Very funny.
Yeah, no harm.
We just got a dog who was a puppy. And so the only thing I can do to keep my sanity was to walk this dog around our apartment in Harlem. And in doing so, I began to explore the same thing as the dog explored, which was basically peeing on fire hydrants and mailboxes and all kinds of, street fixtures and street furniture. And I began to see faces in the street furniture. I said, wouldn't it be neat if the street furniture talked?
Our culture, the black culture, is beautiful. But we have to learn to stick together, love one another, whether you're white, blue, red, black, green, or whatever.
I also work as a teacher. I've been teaching for a long time, since the early 90s. Animation today, okay, we're going to talk about mouth shapes. When we make mouths move, it's an abstraction. Live action, everything is so subtle, but cartoons, we just have to inspire the imagination. Teaching should be something that is active. It's not a passive thing. It's something that needs to be often physical so that we really retain what we're learning. And it needs to be as close to real life experience as possible, because that's how you really learn things, is by making it real. What we're going to do is you're going to direct him opening his mouth to keep your mouth shut with your exposure sheet. Give him direction for his eyebrows, his eyes if you want. No, you have to get the timing right. To make really good entertainment or good art, it's not about being clever, it's about being honest and finding the truth in something.
I'll show you a real miracle. Sit back and prepare to be in awe of the power of the Almighty.
This train will be going express from 59th Street to Far Rockaway, Brooklyn. And I don't know why.
Dios mío!
It is God!
Thank you.
Earl, hurry up!
Thank you very
I want to
much.
get a picture with God.
Oh, please, no photos.
I don't know about you, but I always thought God would look a little more holy.
All things on this earth are holy. All things are sacred. From the mightiest mountain to the lowliest, dirtiest, flea-ridden, disgustingly small, insignificant little rat.
More on the way, but first, this message from the Chancellor.
Hi, I'm Chancellor Matthew Goldstein, pleased to present CUNY's 2011 Student All-Star Team.
In the infield, Barium Goldwater Scholar Mark Barriman, National Science Foundation Fellows Lena Mercedes Gonzalez and Arthur Jacob Parzignot, and Truman Scholar Gareth Rhodes. In the outfield, National Science Foundation Scholar Ryan Jaipal, Barium Goldwater Scholar Celine Joiry, and Fulbright Grant recipient Miguel Guzman. Behind home plate, Truman Scholar Iodella Oti. On the pitcher's mound, Rhodes Scholar Zujasha Takir. In the bullpen, Joseph Camarada, Barium Goldwater Scholar, and Funleo Easterwood, Fulbright Hayes Grant recipient. And designated hitters, Math for America Fellows Gian Liu and Anne-Marie Alcocer.
CUNY All-Stars, like the Yankees, our hometown champions.
Great moments in CUNY history. City College, long nicknamed the poor man's Harvard, was originally called the Free Academy when it opened in 1849, the first free public institution of higher learning in the United States. In 1906, what we now call City College moved uptown to its current Harlem location. Finally, in 1961, City College was folded into the newly created CUNY system, where it remains the oldest and most revered of all 23 CUNY colleges.
Science is, to me, one of the most important philosophical advances that mankind has come up with in the past several centuries. It is one of the most positive forces for improving humankind. My name is Oliver Medvedick. I'm one of the co-founders of Genspace, and I'm a molecular biologist. One of the problems with science in general in this country is a lack of space in which to carry it out, where we can actually do hands-on science. One of the main missions of Genspace is education, educational outreach. What Genspace offers people, offers students, offers entrepreneurs, offers citizen scientists, is a safe, accessible place in which to carry out biotechnology-related projects. Here we have another group of primers. F and R, same thing. Here we have two sets of diluted plasmid, and it says 1 in 100 plasmid chlor. The original idea for me is for a bit of a selfish reason. I wanted a place where I could carry out my projects in an accessible, inexpensive manner. And laboratory space is lacking all across the United States. So I decided to do it the hard way, and that was build a lab from the ground up. I don't think just Brooklyn needs a community lab. I think community labs should be peppered all across the United States and the world. We definitely need a playground, if you will, where science could be carried out in a nurturing environment, and that's what Genspace offers. So Genspace opened its doors to the public December of 2010. I've been greatly pleased that the response from the public has been tremendously enthusiastic. One thing I wasn't expecting was that when we opened this lab, it was a bit of a field of dreams model for me. You know, if we build it, will they come? And it was a pleasant surprise to actually find so many people wanting to come in and take the courses and learn about biotechnology, and then have some great ideas for projects that they'd like to carry out. Not just citizens with no background in biology, but also people with a Ph.D. in biology but need additional lab space. And what's so special about individual colonies is that they are basically derived from one cell that landed there that made that perfectly symmetrical colony. So if there's any kind of variation, if there's some mutations that accumulate or whatnot, sometimes some strains can mutate, and then you can have variability. You know, that's another wrench in the whole complexity, just because now you're working with the one strain. The reason I think science is boring for a lot of people is because you hear lectures and you read about it, but you don't get an opportunity to do it. So I think just allowing people to get wet bench experience and try to come up with new ideas and then test them out, physically test them out and physically see what happens. I think that's key.
My name is Juliette Lopez. I'm a student at Queens College. I am a double major in political science and urban studies. I was born in Nicaragua. I lost my vision at 9 months old due to a childhood accident. Growing up in Nicaragua was very tough because it was a communist government that didn't allow me to attend school. People with disabilities do not have opportunity or no use for the government. I'm just blind. That doesn't mean that I couldn't succeed or I couldn't do what other people did. Hostos, I was the first student with a disability to ever run for student government. Why CUNY? Because CUNY has prepared me as a leader, does not tell me what to say and when to say things. I could be my own self. As a person that is studying political science, this is very important, that a leader does what he or she wants or feels is right. Thanks to all the opportunities that I have gotten in CUNY, it shows you that everyone has an opportunity, that everyone could accomplish dreams. You just have to work hard and believe in yourself. That's me, and that's CUNY.
Every day I disarmed these explosive devices, and I knew every time I disarmed one that somebody would live. I remember the day of 9/11. I was in my American history class. I think I was 16 at the time. On that day, I knew I was going into the military.
And I remember when we started dating, he said to me, Anne, are you sure you want to do this? I'm leaving. Like, I have my contract set to go. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we're 17. This isn't gonna last till next year. I was a freshman in college when he left. It was tough.
I knew that I wanted to go into the Special Forces. I wanted something that I'd get the best training that I could, where I could also feel like I had the biggest impact. So these are some examples of some of the munitions that we'd find. You can see a line of C4 explosives running across the top. So this is just doing demolition. We basically set them up like this so that we could destroy it.
Every time I would leave my house, I was scared to come home because I knew that if something happens, like you don't get a phone call, they come to the door.
I just found that the training was so in-depth with the original 2-year training pipeline, and then for both deployments we did so much training that I felt ready for it. My take on it was just be as careful as I can and hope for the best. My worry was less for me and more for my wife. I trained hard so that I could get home and so that I could bring my team home. And yeah, I didn't want to put her through that and have her have to live with losing me over there.
I always made sure to let him know I want to know. Like, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what you're doing. Like, that's going to help me get through it. And he did.
Just talking to each other and letting the other person know what's going on in your life, what thoughts you're having, it's huge. I think especially in a long distance or a military relationship, communication is vital. So I was very careful about how I did things. And luckily that paid off because we managed to get through the deployment with no casualties from my team. So we brought everyone home. I flew from Iraq to Germany to Ireland, and I called her from Germany and I said, hey, what are you doing tonight?
I knew when he said that, I just started screaming. My mom woke up, she heard me screaming, she started screaming. This is before we even heard anything. And he's like, I'm in Germany. And I was like, oh my God, it's over.
For about the first few days of it, I said, oh, this is great. I'm on vacation. I don't have work to do. I could get ready to go to school and everything. I was so used to a very regimented life and very, I knew what I was doing every day. I had to be at work at 6 o'clock, and I had a real sense of purpose. And then I got out, and I wasn't in the military anymore. I wasn't, doing a job anymore. I was going to become a student in a few weeks, but even that, I felt like I kind of gave up a lot of my identity. I also felt like I lost my friends, the people who I spent all my time with, the guys who I went to war with. They were all back in Virginia or over in Iraq or Afghanistan, and I was back in New York getting ready to become a student. Then I started school, and I kind of felt like I found a sense of purpose again. Knowing that I could do things that most people might think they can't do. Going from disarming bombs to taking tests, you feel like you can do it, and you feel like you can do well with it. The biggest impact that our whole experience had on it is that you just appreciate everything more.
And even now, I mean, you argue about stupid things and you get mad over things that don't matter, and we're just like, this is, like what we've been through, it just doesn't matter.
Take the opportunity now to thank your family for being there. Don't leave things that should be said for later, because later may pass before you realize it. And never, I mean never, take your family and friends for granted, because without them, you have nothing.
Thanks for watching Study with the Best. For all things CUNY, visit us online at cuny.edu or check us out on Facebook or Twitter at CUNY TV. See you next time.
How can we get that more expressive? This is acting, right? I mean, you got great drawing here. It's wonderful drawing. It's wonderful. I remember 12 years ago when I first started making shorts, how exciting it was to get into a festival and how it changed everything, because I could sit in the theater and watch everyone laugh at my piece. And I kind of want that to happen for my students here too.
Keep your big mouth shut. Keep your big mouth.
Yeah, it's just the face appearing at different spots saying keep your big mouth shut.
Keep your big mouth shut.
Each face says something different, but also like had them like different colors, like the 60s.
Like, here, catch. Don't drop my wallet. Now throw it back. Throw it back. Catch. You. Okay, can you catch? Okay, now throw it back. What we're doing is we're bouncing ideas back and forth and we're making them better.
Keep your big mouth shut. Keep your big mouth shut. Keep your big mouth shut.
Before you go, just put the chairs back, make sure light boxes are back. If there's something you want to show me, show it to me now, okay? Thank you.